You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WISS Daily News Roundup for Oshkosh Air Support, 98.3 FM and 1100 AM.
For 98.3 and 96.5 WISS News, I'm Lisa Hale. Oshkosh proclaims June Pride Month in the city. Mayor Matt Mugerauer.
And I urge all residents to recognize the contributions made by members of the LGBTQ community and to actively promote the principles of equality, liberty, and justice.
The proclamation took place during the Tuesday Common Council meeting. Oshkosh Pride is preparing for its celebration Sunday from noon until 7 p.m. at the Oshkosh Arena. The event was relocated from the Leach Amphitheater due to concerns over possible thunderstorms and high heat indices.
About 50 people, including local leaders and community organizations, gathered Thursday night for a rally outside of an Appleton home recently vandalized in what was a targeted hate crime. On May 29th, the home of Benji Rowe and Alex France was vandalized when the pride flag that had flown outside of their home for 2 years was ripped from its grommets and tossed to the ground. Since then, at least 5 other instances of pride flags or support for the LGBTQ+ community have been damaged or tampered with. Neighborhood supporters say it's a symptom of a larger pattern of hate crimes against the LGBTQ+ community. The rally was held Thursday, as it was the 10th anniversary of the legalization of same-sex marriage at the federal level.
A woman accused of abandoning her pet dog in an apartment when she moved pleads not guilty in Manitowoc County Circuit Court Thursday. 25-year-old Elizabeth Ramlow of Vail, Arizona, is charged with mistreatment of an animal causing death and intentionally abandoning an animal. According to a criminal complaint, the new occupant of a Two Rivers apartment discovered the dead dog locked in a kennel in February. Ramlow moved from that apartment in June of 2024. Ramlow returns to court August 1st.
2 Milwaukee police officers were the victims of an ambush last night. Stuart J. Waddles has the story.
One officer is fighting for his life. The other is expected to be okay. 2 Milwaukee police officers were shot while responding to a call last night. Assistant Police Chief Nicole Waldner spoke to the media early this morning.
Approximately 9:10 p.m., officers were sent to a subject with weapon call. While en route, it was upgraded to a shots fired. While the officers were approaching, they were unexpectedly fired upon in the alley of the 2200 block of North 24th Place. The officers were both struck and not able to return fire. Both officers have just over 6 years on the job. Our first officer is a 29-year-old, and he is currently at the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The second officer, a 32-year-old, is at the hospital, and he remains in critical condition.
Police are searching for a suspect described as armed and dangerous. It's believed they know who they're looking for, but have not yet released a name.
The man accused of kidnapping a pregnant Wisconsin teenager and taking her across the country wants his federal trial delayed. Attorneys for 40-year-old Gary Day asked a federal judge in Arkansas to delay his trial because he's still being held in a Wisconsin jail on a $2 million bond. Day faces multiple charges in Dodge County, including child enticement and child abduction, in addition to the numerous federal charges in the 2024 abduction of the pregnant 16-year-old from her parents' home in Beaver Dam. Federal prosecutors did not object to the request. Day had been scheduled to stand trial next month in Little Rock. Girls from all over the state were at Myron Construction in Menasha Thursday for Build Like a Girl Day. The 7th to 10th graders were able to learn construction skills and gain understanding for construction jobs and fields like masonry that could become a career path. Industry officials say about 10% of the Wisconsin construction industry is made up of women. Myron Construction VP of Human Resources Dave Walsh said it is an important investment of time and resources for the company to be welcoming and inclusive. As we continue to deal with the effects of climate change, wildfires are becoming more prevalent. However, development of a new tool designed to detect wildfires at the University of Wisconsin-Madison could face delays due to federal funding cuts. According to a WPR report, the Next Generation Fire System uses artificial intelligence and real-time satellite images to track the spread of wildfires. Officials say the funding delays are the result of a review of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration contracts by the Trump administration. The federal agency partnered with the Cooperative Institute for Meteorological Satellite Studies at UW-Madison to develop the tool. After the assassination of a Minnesota legislator earlier this month, lawmakers in Wisconsin have security on their minds. Joanne Krulatz reports.
At the Capitol, legislative leaders are taking a cautious approach to increased insecurity following the assassination of Minnesota lawmaker. This is Assembly Speaker Robin Vos.
The thing that's most scary is this didn't occur in a Capitol. It occurred at someone's home. So the idea of trying to make the Capitol into a fortress, I don't know if that necessarily would even have ever done anything in this situation.
Vos said Assembly lawmakers will discuss security issues, something echoed by Minority Leader Greta Neubauer.
We're not going to comment at this point on specific security measures, but are open to longer-term conversations to ensure that everyone feels safe.
The Capitol building has 12 public entrances on 2 levels. Following the 2011 Act 10 protests, public access was briefly limited with metal detectors placed at a pair of ground floor entrances.
If you're planning on putting a boat on the water soon, you might meet someone new wanting to help. Stuart J. Waddles has more.
Boaters are on the front lines of keeping Wisconsin's waterways in balance. The DNR is trying to aid in the effort. Starting next week, the Great Lakes Landing Blitz will be in effect. The process has volunteer inspectors at boat landings statewide through July 13th, teaching boaters how to spot and stop the spread of invasive species. The move comes as holiday crowds start to hit lakes.
I'm Lisa Hale for 98.3 and 96.5 WISS News. For news anytime, visit WISS.FM.
The Bucks draft a big man. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Basketball, the Milwaukee Bucks used their second-round pick to add Bogoljub Markovic, 19 years old, a forward and a top player in Serbia, 6'11", but just 217 pounds, assistant general manager Milt Newton, on how long the Bucks have had their eye on Markovic.
Well, actually, we've been on him for the last 4 or 5 years. They were very high on him. Obviously, a little bit thinner right now. Got to get stronger, put on some more weight, but we've been on him for the last 4 or 5 years.
The Bucks also signed Alabama's Mark Sears to a 2-way deal. Meanwhile, a lot of excitement across the state that Milwaukee's Con Knippel, after just 1 year at Duke, went as high as 4th overall in the draft to Charlotte. Knippel says he met with the Hornets in Chicago last month.
Yeah, I mean, having the interviews at the Combine and then in my visit there with the team. And so I'm super glad they pulled the trigger, and I can't wait to be a Hornet.
With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Put on your seatbelts, folks, for this weekend's new theatrical releases. The biggie is F1, the movie. Racing fans will love it for its high-octane action Formula One racing scenes, and those who think Brad Pitt is dreamy will like it because Brad Pitt plays a race car driver. The film is being called Top Gun on Wheels and is reviewing in the mid to high 90th percentile on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences seem to be digging the film as well. If you're up for a horror flick sequel about AI going rogue and turning into a killer, check out Megan 2.0. The first installment, you guessed it, Megan, made $180 million worldwide on just a $12 million production budget. The film is reviewing in the low 60s on Rotten Tomatoes, but still fresh. If you're in the mood for a dark comedy drama, check out Sorry Baby, the latest film from A24 Studios. Let's go to the movies. We are about halfway through the year, so Variety has just released its 10 best movies of the year so far. There is one surprise on the list, but mostly it's been the go-to films that we've talked about on a nightly basis on Nightlight, including spy thriller Black Bag, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which may or may not be the last of the franchise, Sly Lives, which is a fantastic documentary on Hulu about Sly and the Family Stone founder Sly Stone. A couple surprises are a film that is just opening this weekend called Sorry Baby, a drama about a college professor dealing with the aftermath of sexual assault. 28 years later also made the list, which you can see in theaters currently. Ryan Coogler's vampire thriller Sinners is on the list, and that's no big surprise. What was surprising about the list was the film Alto Nights, starring Robert Robert De Niro as two gangsters. The film was sort of universally panned by critics. Variety has it on the list, so it might be worth a watch. Happy viewing. You gotta love the Reacher series. They are hard at work on season 4 already and rarely make their audience wait too long between seasons. Barry star Christopher Rodriguez Marquette will join the cast for season 4, taking over the role of a small-town cop vacated by Jay Baruchel, who left the show to attend to personal matters. Season 4 of the Netflix show is scheduled to drop sometime in 2026. Martin Freeman might be the hardest working man in show business, and he's a pretty darn good actor too. The Hobbit star has agreed to join the cast of The Adam Trials, a psychological thriller directed by River Wild filmmaker Ben Kitai. Young Sheldon's Ian Armitage will also be part of the cast. The plot follows two parents who will do anything to save the life of their terminally ill son, but with unexpected side effects. The project is still in the early stages of production, so stay tuned.
Mostly cloudy this morning with a little more sunshine by later this afternoon. Our high today in the low to mid 70s. Tonight, partly cloudy. We're going to drop down into the 50s for an overnight low. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, upper 70s to low 80s with a few scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Temperature now 73.
That's your WISS Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WISS.FM. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.